what's up, everybody? I'm Will Riggs, and welcome into the Dirt Talk Nation tonight. Y'all, from big-time racing to big-time drama, we got it all going on tonight on the Dirt Talk Nation. On top of that, we're going to give away a free 3-month subscription to the Race On Network, provided by our good buddy Chris David, who's actually going to join us later on in tonight's show. To win, like and share this live feed and tag a friend to enter to win. We'll draw the winner at the end of the night. So like this feed, share this feed, tag a friend in the comments of the feed, and then we're going to draw off of those people at the end of the night and give away a free 3-month subscription to Race On. Look, I work for Race On, clearly, right here, clearly. I provide the RPM Rewind. We started this last week, but man, their network is awesome. I promise you, you can do all kinds of stuff, watch races from all over, and we'll talk about where you can watch those races from later on in the show with Chris David. So make sure you get it taken care of. Sit back, strap on your seatbelts, you guys, because it's time to go racing in the Dirt Talk Nation.
There from the start by his side, and through all the scars and pain he'd hide, he'd work extra hours to make ends meet, dragging to the shop flat dead on his feet. She never dreamed it would be this hard, but nothing comes between a man and his racing car. She said we're gonna be a mile down a dead-end street, when you know tracks like that you can never be beat. He knew the love would win top prize. Cries and grease stains in his eyes. There's no other love between a road and a tire. Nothing comes between a man and his racing car.
Oh yeah, man, getting you all pumped up with the official theme song of the Dirt Talk Nation for the 2024 season. That is Racing Car by my good buddy, the Kenneth Waters Band. Check them out online at kennethwatersband.com or find them on Facebook. You can see the full music video on their page, or actually on our page. We posted it the other day, but all the video footage from that actually courtesy of our good friends of Chris David and the Race On Network. Clearly the concert footage not so much, but that is where you can see and hear the full-length version of the official theme song of the Dirt Talk Nation Racing Car by the Kenneth Waters Band. Now, this Sunday at RPM Speedway, woo, it's going to get down with the get down, you guys. It's going to be rumbling the ground for miles around as the High Limit Sprint Car Series comes to town with a few familiar names you may know from this area. How about Blake Hahn? How about Taylor Courtney? How about Sam Hafferty Jr.? And, of course, the legend himself, Kyle Larson. Yeah, they're all going to be there, but we're also in that race is going to be the driver of the number 1 car, Brenham Crouch. We're going to bring Brenham on right now. Brenham, what's up, buddy? Can't hear you, my man. Get the mic working. Look, he's like, just son of a... I see you, but I can't hear you, bro. Yep, it's okay. He's going to get it taken care of there for a second. We're going to wait for that. But you can find Brenham in the number 1 car Sunday night. Got nothing, my man. Hold on. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's do a couple things. Maybe we're just doing the wrong thing right there. All right. You there? Still can't hear you, bud. Still can't hear you. Go out and reconnect, and we'll try again. All right? So we're going to kick him out there. So we're going to see if we can reconnect and try again with Brenham here in just a second as we talk about it. So the High Limits Racing, these are big block sprints, 410 sprints, just like the World of Outlaws. Is this trying to take over World of Outlaws? Is this trying to be bigger, better, faster than the World of Outlaws? We'll find out. All right, let's see if we got Brenham on. You there?
Can you hear me now?
Now we got you, Bubba. Now we got you. Let's go.
Good deal. No, I appreciate you having me.
No, absolutely, man. I reached out to High Limits Racing, to Kayla over there, and I was like, hey, look, man, we're doing this. I'm actually the voice of RPM Speedway, and I do this show every week, and I was glad that you guys were flexible with it. I also call softball, so the show got moved to tonight from last night because of rain in the area, and we had to have softball in last night. But, man, thanks so much for making time for us here tonight. Now, I don't know. You probably didn't hear me when I was saying it's like a lot of people are saying that high limits racing, these big block 410s, are competition for the world of outlaws. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. I feel like if anything, High Limit's trying to work with the Outlaws and build the sport. I think they're trying to, I guess, hype their guys up in a sense of words. I guess when they go race with guys like the Outlaws or Knoxville or any type of big race in any form of motorsport, right? Kyle Larson doing car stuff, the NASCAR stuff, just in everything across the board. They're trying to give their drivers the publicity that them and obviously the series themselves want to
Now,
deserve.
Brenham, you have a baby face, man. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
18 years old. Holy smokes, man, out there driving those badass sprint cars, dude. It's got to be like when you get on the track and you're looking, you're driving around, you're getting ready to get going, and there's freaking Kyle Larson, bro. How awesome is that?
Yeah, no, it's sick. Now I'm just getting into the national circuit as far as the ring stuff goes. So just trying to learn as much as possible from a very good field of guys, and hopefully we can take that and into later this year and hopefully next year and hopefully get some results that we're looking for.
So, what actually got you into racing? Because clearly, if you're driving those big block sprints at 18, you've been racing for a hot minute, right?
Yeah, no, I actually started. My dad raced on and stuff. Before my time, and I started through karts and micros and all that stuff, kind of sort of in this area. Going to Cam Cartway just in Fort Worth, and up in Oklahoma, Meeker, Port City, and all those places. So kind of familiar with the area actually. RPM is one of the few places I haven't been to yet, so I'm super pumped to come there this Sunday, and hopefully, High Limited I can put on a show.
So, it is racing your full-time gig now? This is what you do full-time, travel? Because I know on the high limits, I saw they have 59 races scheduled for this year. So, I mean, you got to be on the road for a hot minute, right?
Yeah, no, we're looking at anything north of about 75, 80 races, hopefully more than that. Like I said, this year we're just trying to get as much experience as we can, as many laps as we can to, hopefully build ourselves up to possibly running, with these guys full time for years on end.
So are you in your trailer right now? Are you at
No,
home?
actually,
Are you living in the FW?
At home, Sunnyvale, actually.
Sunnyvale,
Yeah.
hey, not bad. Sunnyvale. I'm in Fate, so you're not too far, man. You can just drove over here and been in studio with me, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Good times right there. Sunnyvale, Texas. Yeah, I grew up in Mesquite and we lived in Forney for years and years, but we had to get away from Highway 80, my man. That's horrible.
Yeah, I do not blame you.
That's So what do you do when it's not race season? What are your hobbies? What keeps you occupied when you're not on the track?
I actually spent today at the golf course up in Frisco. That was a pretty neat experience. Between that and fishing, I don't have much free time, but when I do get it, that's kind of what I like to enjoy.
So I produce a cryptocurrency show during the day and some nights, and one of the co-hosts, man, he is a huge golfer. Matter of fact, we filmed a show this morning, and that fool was immediately golfing and sending pictures from he was wearing his golf shirt and everything. So that seems to be especially this time of year. It's beautiful in Texas to go golfing, but I mean, I tell you what, in the middle of July and August, you're like maybe not.
Yeah, no, that's where you want to kind of go golfing up in like Indiana or somewhere north where it's a little cooler, maybe.
Michigan. You just gotta go all the way to Michigan to get anything cooler. So do you so that you fishing and golfing, man, it takes up a pretty good. I think golfing's a 4-hour tour, right? If you play 18 holes, yeah.
Yeah, no, we played just about 4 hours today, actually. Yeah.
I'm a horrible golfer. I've tried. My college, actually my best friend in high school and my college roommate loved to play golf. So he'd always drag, come on, man, you'll love it. I just don't. I don't love it for multiple reasons. It's a horrible sport for me. I'm like, that's not my thing. He said, but you can drink beer. I'm in. Let's go drink that beer, bro. And that's really the only time I go play golf. Like there's actually not far from you, there's a little 9-hole golf course right there on Beltline, called Sunnyvale now, but it was Mesquite. You know which one I'm talking about? It's right on Beltline.
I actually haven't golfed around here much. Like I
It's
said, I
a
don't really have
little look.
time
If
for
you
it,
get
but
bored and you just want to go hit 9 holes, dude, it's a pretty cool little course. Like the first one's a par 3, and like literally you have the green, a pond, and then sorry, you have the tees, a pond, the green. Can't tell you how many balls I've lost in that freaking pond right there, dude. I was just like, I'm just gonna throw this across there, you know.
yeah.
So so what is your end game living the dream look like from here as far as racing goes?
Yeah, I'd like to just be a full time wing sprint car driver. That's what I'm shooting for, and hopefully, like I said, I've got all the resources to do it at the moment. I think it's just a matter of reps and how bad I want it ultimately. And I think I have the want, and I just need the reps. So if we continue on this track, I think still relatively young, and especially in the sport of dirt racing. So I think we're on a pretty good track to hopefully make that possible, and just kind of have to see how the future lays out.
Have you ever heard of the theory of 100?
I haven't now.
The theory of 100 states that if you do a certain thing, no matter what that thing is, 100 hours in 1 year, which is about 18 minutes a day, for 100 hours a year, you will be better at that than 90% of the rest of the people doing it. So,
Really?
yes, that's the theory of 100. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be driving, or in my case, talking. I'm really good at talking because I've way more than 100 hours of talking.
Yeah.
But that's the theory of 100. So the more, like you're talking about reps, you get that 100 hours in, man, you'll be better than 90% of the people doing this. And that's not a bad group to be with, you know?
No, yeah, we're learning from the best this year for sure, and hopefully we can take away some pretty good tips and tricks from these guys, and maybe reverse it on them a little bit.
Yeah, man. Do you have any cool Larson stories, Kyle Larson stories?
Not necessarily, man, honestly, like once I get to racing, I'm kind of in the zone, so I don't really pay attention to who's around me. I'm just worried about my own thing, and
Right.
trying to go forward and race up front. So no, I mean just the series itself has been really good these past few races. I've learned a lot, and I feel like jump strides just these 4 races at the beginning of the year. So really just a big thanks to High Limit and everything they're doing.
Heck yeah, man.
And obviously my sponsors, High Plains Building Division, Carbon Safety Technologies, and everybody else that really just helps me out and makes it possible. Super grateful for, like I said, the opportunity and the guys that I get to race around.
Man, I'm super excited for you. I think that you're racing these big blocks and out here with some of the best in the world, man. I mean, I will tell you this: the coolest moment I ever saw from Kyle Larson, he was racing with the World of Outlaws in 2018. I was the voice of Devil's Bowl Speedway. He broke the track record not once. There we go. There's my camera. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in the same night. Like he broke the record, then broke his record, and then broke his record again. Like it was insane, man. I was like, what is happening right now before my very eyes? And it's cool when a traveling group comes to town and they have their own announcer, because then I can just admire and enjoy the races in front of me, which, when you're a full-time race announcer and you're announcing all these races that, one after another on the racetrack, you don't really get to fully enjoy the whole track. You're kind of paying attention and trying to talk about what the good racing on the track is going on. But I'm looking forward to it Sunday, man. I'll be in the booth to call the modifieds, and I'll get to sit back and watch you guys. Are you going to be out for? I know there's a fan fest going on Sunday.
Yeah.
Will your car be out at the fan fest?
Yeah, it should be. I'm pretty sure, it should be all be in the pit area the way they've been working it the last few races. So I should be out by my car, and hopefully maybe get some good fans. And I know the 57 and the 24, maybe the 49 will have pretty hefty lines. But everybody's available as far as the whole driver roster goes, whether they're high rollers or not. I believe everybody's going to be out there to interact and have some fun.
That's really cool. So I'll be out there. I'm going to get out there early too myself. I like to, of course, it's the Dirt Talk Nation. I love to do like interviews and get that kind of stuff for my my content for my site and trying to grow my game. I'm actually super excited because since I started doing it this year, I just started expanding to do all tracks, all dirt tracks and all racing and cover a lot of different stuff. And literally in the 4 weeks, you know how like you said in 4 races you've grown a lot. Well, in the last 4 weeks of doing this show, we went from 181 followers to over 1,000. So we're super excited and thankful for all the people who follow what we do and are excited about what we do, and it's really cool. So I'll definitely see you out there. And we'll get even more stuff, and get some shots of you by the car, and talk a little more out at the track, man. If that's cool with you.
Yeah, awesome. Whatever you'd like to do, I'm game for, and pretty easy going. So whatever ideas you've got, just bring them my way.
And name off your sponsors one more time so everybody knows.
Yeah, just really want to thank High Plains Building Division and Carbon Safety Technologies. There's countless others, Lubbock and Wilson Record Service and several others, just really thankful again for all their support and, everything that they're allowing me to do.
Man, it's always cool when you got enough, when you got the sponsors who are behind you and help get it going for you, man. And I'm super happy for you. And we'll, look, man, I know your family's proud and everything. So I look forward to meeting you and your fam out there at the track on Sunday, buddy. I appreciate you taking the time out to jump on with us.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you again for having me.
All right, Brendan, appreciate you, Bubba. There you go. Yeah, Brendan Crouch. I'll be rooting for the number 1 car on Sunday night, man. You guys come on out to Crandall. It's going to be a good time with the High Limits Sprint Car Series hitting RPM Speedway.
We got them racked, we got them stacked, and we've got the grandstands packed.
Super healthy for sprint car racing, compete for a championship.
You can feel the buzz around. We want to race the best guys every night.
Whole different level.
This is the High Limit Room. It's the home of 24 high rollers. We are free.
Yeah, that's a little video. First one you saw there was for, of course, the racing going on, the High Limits Sprint Car Series at RPM. But the other one's East Texas Tower. They are presenting sponsor this year. If you have a tower needs, it doesn't matter. Internet, yep, you need it. Need better cell phone service. You're out in the country, you need something better. Got a ham radio, and you need a new tower. Man, call East Texas Towers. Kenny Lovett and his entire crew are awesome, and we'll get you taken care of. Tell them you heard about it right here on the Dirt Talk Nation, and they will definitely get you taken care of, and I would appreciate it if you did. Now, remember, we are giving away a free 3-month subscription to raceon.com tonight. How do you enter? Okay, you have to like this live feed. You have to share this live feed, and you have to tag your friends in the comments, at least one, but tag them all, especially if they all like dirt track racing, man. Come on with it. Tag them, and let's talk some dirt track racing in the Dirt Talk Nation. We're going to give that away at the end of the show, and you got to be present, got to be watching to win, because we're going to ask you to post it up in the comments. Speaking of the comments, if you got a comment, we'll get to it. All you got to do, comment on the video, and it's going to boom pop right in here for you, and we would definitely appreciate that. Now, if you get out on the highway and you head down I-20, you're going to find a little town called Kilgore, Texas, all right? Down there, you're going to find what? It's the home of the Rangerettes. And it's also home to Lone Star Speedway. They have a full Saturday night schedule starting late April, and we're going to bring on the owner right now, Patrick Robb. What's up, Bubba?
How's it going, man?
Man, we are talking some dirt track racing tonight, man. Look, I know racing don't happen until Fridays and Saturdays, but we're a day late. We're usually on Wednesday nights, but man, we love talking dirt track racing, man.
Right, for sure. I'm here for it.
Now, you guys, you don't start your schedule till late April, is that right? Here in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're kind of like on the late wagon with everybody else being starting back in beginning of March and everything, mainly just for getting the facility up to par and everything. Granted, this is our first year back to Lone Star in like almost 2 years.
So you guys again, April. I think it's April 2 weeks from
27th.
Saturday.
Yes, April 27th is our first showing.
First show at April 27th at Lone Star Speedway, and we have a little video we're going to play at the end of your interview. But tell us about how you got to Lone Star and what you guys got planned for this year, man.
So, long story short, as I'm actually from Colorado, and my wife and her in-law and my in-laws, her parents, they're from Longview, just down the road here. Actually, I'm in Longview as well right now. When we moved down here, I was always a dirt track driver myself. I raced an IMCA stock car before I moved, and when I got down here, it was kind of the oof of like, where do I race? And it was either Lone Star Speedway or Boot Hill, and I was kind of caught in the middle of like, where do I go? And then when it came to it, and I actually bought a car, Lone Star Speedway just wasn't open at the time, and I had co-promoted and sponsored a couple tracks back in Colorado, and so it just fiddled in my mind. I was like, why don't I just do it? I'll be the main guy. And next thing you know, starting in June of last year, I started looking at it, talking to the owner of the facility, and then October of last year, I signed the papers, and here I am.
Oh man, that look. First of all, like we talked to man, and I can't. Oh, Joe Belm earlier from BST Promotions. He promotes in South. Yeah, we talked to him earlier this season. He promotes up in Colorado, and I guess hold on, I got to look. I always had to do it this way: South, East Colorado, and Southwest Nebraska. We had him on earlier this year, and
yeah, Joe is like my predecessor. For instance, I learned a lot from him. He was actually the first guy I called when I first got the contract, and I was thinking about it. I called him, and he's like, his words were, "It's not for the faint of heart, but if you don't do it now, you'll regret it for the rest of your life."
Man, it's promoting is hard. So I've promoted pro wrestling. And I've promoted, which I literally same demographic, brother. Let's be honest about it. It's the same exact demographic. And it's tough, man. It's tough to get people to come out. And, I've promoted music. I've promoted when I was doing my own band. I've promoted all those things. And man, promoting is not for the faint of heart, man. It takes a lot of work and dedication and thick skin, because as part of your part of your job as a promoter is to go out and get sponsors. Right. And to help, they help fund the points funds, help fund the track. And, how have you found that process as you've gone along here with Lone Star?
Are you meaning just like as in the promoting the general basis for Lone Star? Or are you meaning like sponsors?
Like getting out and getting sponsors and getting the right sponsors, really, because that's the key is getting the right sponsors.
The biggest thing, like a lot of them actually came to me. Like today, I had State Farm call me, and they pitched in a couple bucks, to help out and everything. In a sense, it helped pay for the USRA sanction that I just finalized today.
Nice.
Lone Star has got such an in-depth history. Once the short news of literally was just a picture of my pickup in front of the sign that it was opening up, my phone number was across the books, and people were like, it was ringing, whether just to ask questions or wanting to be there, wanting to what we're racing. And all in all, there were sponsors knocking at the door. Like ABC Auto Parts was right at my door. They were like, "Hey, we're here. We want to sponsor every track possible. What do we got to do?"
Right. See, sometimes when you have something good or there's something people want,
right,
it comes easy. You know what I mean? And so now I'm super excited that people are jumping on board and helping getting the bills paid and get the lights on and get the track racing. What's the biggest class out there, do you think?
Honestly, it's going to be a mix up of probably three of them: factory stocks, limiteds, and the modifieds. Everybody wants to see the modifieds. So like when it comes to fan bases, I believe modifieds. Everybody wants to see modifieds. When it comes to car count, I want to say it's factory stocks, and then limiteds are right behind it. Going off of statistics of the local tracks just down the road, Boot Hill and Arcotex, they on a regular night they're bringing in 50 cars of just factory stocks.
Yo, yeah.
So
what is your favorite class to watch? And it doesn't have to be the classes that race it, because my favorite class to watch is I get to see them one time a year. I'm a super late model guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're awesome.
My favorite class, they don't race them in this area. They race them back home. Would be an IMCA modified, not IMCA modified, IMCA stock car. Essentially, what I drove before I moved down here. Mainly
They
just
do
because
race down here. You got to go to Heart of Texas Speedway down in Waco.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
was it 3.5 hours, 4
Yeah.
hours away from where I'm at? I mean, it's a
hour
trip.
45 from me. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. I've done it before. In my opinion, there's a lot more like skill when it comes to that, bumping and rubbing and everything, and then door slamming. And you got to have the guts to drive with the older crowd and everything, especially when you're young like me. I've always loved watching them because it's never the same race every night.
So, what do you enjoy more, racing or promoting?
That is a very good question. I'm glad you asked that because everybody asked me, why did you get into promoting? I did great in the car. I did what I would think great in the car. I was always top 5, if not top 10. But I always enjoyed promoting and I always enjoyed making the racing happen. I don't know why, but seeing smiles on people's faces, thanks for giving us extra money, thanks for making this happen. That's always been kind of like a push for me, like a
Right.
kick. And so honestly, it'd have to be promoting just because it brings more people together. It makes something happen.
So, what was when you got it and you had your very first race there? What was the crowd like?
So the very first race was just that enduro we just had, and that was a co-promoted event with Team Solo,
Right.
and it was almost really nostalgic because, like, granted, I've never been 100% the promoter. I just been helping out, either a sponsor, co-promoter, or just helping out and everything. So when you see the cars lined out there on the front stretch when they were about to go green, I was walking through the cars, and if you had been standing next to me or looking anywhere generically, I probably had wet eyes. I just was just like the blood, sweat, and tears has definitely shed it to be this moment.
So we got some comments. Colin Bell, who he's right down the road,
Right.
in Arclitex. He says he's responding. He's wanting to come to the race here at RPM. It's a huge. It's the high limit stock cars are this weekend, right?
Right.
What are the big races you guys have scheduled for this year?
We got a lot of ASCS. We got the Outlaws, the Outlaw winged and the non-winged 410s, and then we got the ASCS 360s. And then next to that, I think that's our biggest thing coming. What I'm kind of actually really excited about is the Southern Wing Modifieds. Where I come from in Colorado, there was no such thing as a wing modified. So when I first found out about there was a thing down here, I got so excited.
They're cool.
Oh yeah, and then I've always been a late model guy. I mean, those guys are just, talk about, I was going 107 down a 3/8 front stretch or in this track in the boonies. It's just insane. That's what I think is our biggest shows. And then we got the Southern, the big block modifieds. The SSMS, and then a couple of the Tom series are coming. ASCS 360s, the Gulf South region with Chris Walters.
Chris is awesome. We had him earlier this year too.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that's everything. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I believe that's about everything. Some pretty big shows.
Once you get started, it's like you're getting, again, we talk about you get a late start going on in 2 weeks, but how many off weeks do you take between now and the end of the season? Not much, or what's going on?
About pretty much almost every other week. So we have about a week off. I think there's a couple shows where we'll be back-to-back weekends, and so it's just going to be a constant don't stop, just keep going.
How far are you from Boot Hill? Like, how far is that drive? Because there's dirt tracks everywhere, man.
Right. I believe we're about 55 minutes from Boot Hill. So Boot Hill is my direct competitor, and I've worked with Bubba and Rollo. They're great and everything. They always want to communicate. Well, I think we're going to hopefully work on some shows together. Tag team, and maybe I move a couple nights, because I know there's a cross date that's on a Saturday that they're racing, and I might move Friday, and let's get something together and do a potluck or whatever. But we're still working on it. It's like months and months away. They're great. So I've got nothing to worry about them. So the only thing was, US Race is don't overlap, and we're definitely not going to do that.
Well, it's really cool when other tracks can work together, and kind of pair up on different things. And back when I worked at RPM and Devil's Bowl, they were owned by the same family. So they'd be like, okay, cool. We're just going to do this, Friday over to RPM. We're going to do, these, bring in, the ASCS. And then on Saturday, they'll be at the Devil's Bowl. And so everybody can do it. That's a cool way to get stuff done. It's actually, and if you pair up and partner up, sorry, my chair was sliding around, and you partner up and pair up with the, other tracks, it's easier. It could be easier financially for both tracks to go in together and get those bigger ones out there. And that's really cool. And Sean Graham wants to know, what made you sanction with USRA?
Biggest thing was just USRA is just what's in this general area. Like we said, we're only 50 minutes from Boot Hill, and there's factory stocks all over this area. And being sanctioned brings the car count. And with USRA or any really sanction in general, sanctioning kind of helps keep the peace. I mean, I wouldn't say keep the peace, with lack of better words. Like I can punish a driver for lashing out at an event just as a promoter, but USRA actually kind of will step in and penalize them as well if there's like a lash out or an issue. Say somebody gets in it with one of my officials or something. Not really so much like a governing thing, but it always helps kind of keep everything aligned. And then there's always the extra money that they put in and the licensing. And I don't know, I have to ask Casey when I talk to her on the phone later this week if there's more insurance. I know IMCA's got insurance they put on the drivers, but I'm not sure about USRA.
So what made you choose USRA over IMCA?
Mainly just for what is in this area. I mean, to get IMCA, you got to get more into the RPM area. You got to get down more towards Dallas and in that area. When you're over here, it's kind of just USRA. That's what everything.
Just be an innovator, bro. You could be an innovator. You could be the first of your kind.
Yeah,
never be afraid to be different. Never be afraid to be different, my man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm being a little different. Let's talk about the Texas stocks. That's definitely different.
What's a Texas stock? Tell me about that. I've never heard that term before.
Take a street stock. I mean, have you seen them? Take a street stock and take out the motor rules, take out the body rules and the chassis rules. It's the rule book literally is a half a page, and it's like an outlawed street stock class. It's kind of run what you brung.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to find a weekend that I'm not working.
Right.
Look at that, and then hope that you're running those on that weekend. Are they going to be a weekly, or are they going to be on every show?
They're going to bounce about every other show.
Every other show. Nice.
Just because I don't want to run too many shows. I don't want to run too many classes a night. I'm kind of capping myself at 5 to 6 classes a night.
Yeah, we get 5. We get 5 classes at RPM, and it can make for a long night if you have a big car count. We had 95 on opening night, and we didn't get out of there till right at midnight. I was one tired puppy boy. I was out of there because we got there like 2:30 in the afternoon. So that's a 10-hour race day right there, Bubba.
Oh, yeah. I mean, late nights are great in a sense. I mean, I remember pulling at a Honor Speedway in Colorado at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we've done that before too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when like you get started late. Getting started late does not help either, but that happens because you get a line at the sign up in the pits, man, and you get more cars than you're expecting, and it takes forever to get them all checked in, and you just get a late start, and then it is what it is. I mean, as long as it's a good race, fans do not care one bit. They don't care. Right. Yeah, they're all about it.
There's one thing like Joe Bellamy you're talking about. He's got El Paso County Speedway back up there in Colorado. He's got a curfew of 10 p.m. because he's in the city limits of Calhoun, Colorado.
No. So how long does it start?
I think if I remember correctly, he still starts the heats at 6 p.m. just like normal. He's kind of like bag on the game. He just go. Let's get this going, and he'll start cutting short on the features if there's too many spins. He needs to get him out of there because he can't go past curfew or I believe he gets fined. I'm not too sure. Don't mark my word on that one.
I know that certain tracks have hey, look, if you spin yourself out twice in the same race, after the second time they send you to the pits, right? Is that you guys got that going on?
We've got that too. Yeah, it's just if you're just out there spinning constantly and you're just causing yellow after yellow after yellow, you're just pushing the show longer. And the fans don't like that. They just don't want to watch that one guy that spun by himself 6 times in the back of the pack. Nothing against you trying to learn, but like, hey, just get off. Let's finish the race, and maybe you can come rent the track or whatever. There's you're gonna learn,
right?
And that's part of the learning experience.
Well, we wish you nothing but success on the upcoming 2024 season. I know it's underway a lot of other places, but you guys will get it going here in about 2 weeks, and we wish you guys nothing but success. I appreciate you taking the time for coming on the show, man. It's always good to have promoters and track owners and all these guys come on the show because we just like I said, we just want to spread the news and spread the love of dirt track racing around and get people going on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's keeping it alive is a big thing.
It is, and it's like, especially in a time where everybody's, dollars are tight, man. So people got to, choose wisely where they spend those dollars. You know what I mean?
Dollars are tight, and racing has not gotten cheaper.
It sure has not. So, man, we appreciate you for keeping it, reopening and keeping Lone Star going, man. We appreciate you jumping on with us here tonight.
Of course, thank you.
You got it, buddy. I appreciate it. There he goes, y'all. Patrick Robb, Lone Star Speedway. Find them down there in Kilgore, Texas. Go and have a good time with them. Coming up next, it's Chris David from the Race On Network.
Well, the track was built, I believe, if I have my dates correct, I've gotten two, so I'm going to say 84. It was originally built in 1984. It was a half mile back then, and I want to say in the mid-2000s, it was shortened to 3/8. It's always been dirt track racing, and it's slowly still evolved into being your local racetrack for home track racing, dirt modified, stock cars, sprint cars. Always still hold big events, and that's our plan too. It's heart pounding. I mean, when it's going, it's alive. Talking about it only, it doesn't put a paint to the picture, if that makes any sense. You could say, oh yeah, they were going super fast, but when you're standing right here and you've got 20 sprint cars out there running that rip of the limb, running the cushion, and they're flinging dirt all into the pits and into your face in the stands, and the loud engine just rolling there, it's just a whole different feeling. If you're sensitive to hearing anything, definitely wear headphones.
A little bit of clip right there of Lone Star Speedway. We got that from the Lone Star Speedway Facebook. Find them online at Lone Star Speedway on Facebook and get their entire schedule. They got all the events already set up and everything. It was really cool. Hey, guys, remember, we are giving away a free 3-month subscription to the Race On Network. You guys, you can watch dirt track racing from all kinds of tracks, not just your home track. And if you can't make it to your home track, bam, sit back and watch it live right there at home. You can watch it on your phone, on your tablet. If you have a smart TV, there's an app for your smart TV too. So no excuses not to get on Race On and have a good time with that. Again, you have to like this feed, share this feed, and then tag a friend in this feed, and we're going to select a winner at the end of the show. You have to be watching to win. And here's one of the best parts. The owner, one of the creators, one of the brainchildren, if you will, of this situation, Chris David, joins us to the show. Chris, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, man. Doing great, man. Thanks for having me tonight.
Absolutely, man. First of all, number one, thanks for the job. Number two, thanks for the gear. I would assume that's your wife. She's in there watching, and she's commenting on the red hat that's just straight popping on the camera right now. And man, I just appreciate, first of all, Race On just in general. True story. About 5 years ago, I was working at Devil's Bowl Speedway, and it was Race On Texas at the time, and I begged. I was like, "Come on, hey, let me start streaming these races." And those guys were old school back in the day, man. They were like, "No, we're not doing all that." And then I left the track, and then somebody's like, "Hey, man, look!" I guess they were on Flow Racing first, and then moved on to you guys, and of course now it went from Race On Texas to Race On, because you guys have blown up, my man.
Yeah, no, it's been a big transition. I mean, we're in our 10th year. March 1st started our 10th year, and when we broadcasted 27 racetracks in 5 different states last year, we went, you know what, we've got to change our name. And the name kind of came about from Tim Higgins at Boot Hill Speedway in Shreveport or Greenwood, Louisiana. He said he would always refer to us as Race On because he was in Louisiana and I don't think he liked to say Race On Texas. And so I said,
"He want to say Texas, yeah."
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, that's kind of got a name to it. And so we dabbled around a lot of name changes. It took us about 14 months to kind of put everything into motion to do what we're doing now. And so a great team effort behind the scenes for sure, man.
Man, first of all, the logo is killer.
Thank you.
I got the t-shirt on. And by the way, if you guys like the Race On t-shirt, you can go online and buy these at raceon.com. Yeah.
That's it. Swag.raceon.com, or just go to raceon.com. There's a link right there. And we're doing a cool deal. A lot of drivers always said, what's in it for us? Well, hang on. This is where we're going to give back to drivers. Memberships, we give back to the racetracks. Our swag stuff, we're going to give back to the drivers. So jump in there, buy some swag, give back. We've partnered with our good friends over at All In Designs, and Aaron and the team have put together a really cool store, and there's a lot more coming. We're just kind of touching the tip of what we're going to be doing with the swag. So definitely something. Jump on, find something you like. It's a great Father's Day, Mother's Day gift. I don't know. Put something in the cart and check out.
Look, I'm jealous, okay, and I texted, man, as soon. So I'm working with Tanner, which is really funny. So I get to the track for that was my first race with Race On this past weekend at RPM. And I get to the track and my videographer is Tanner Long, and I've known Tanner for 6 years, and he used to work for me, and like we did video at Devil's Bowl together, and then he worked as a videographer for me for a professional wrestling company. So when I saw it was Tanner, I got really excited. And then Tanner turns around, he's coming back up the stands, and I'm like, what is going? This is the most awesome hoodie that I've ever seen, man. Like, it's an awesome. Can fans buy those Race On hoodies?
Not yet, but our friends over at Rush Race Gear got us hooked up. Got our crew hooked up with some polos and some hoodies, and
those are awesome.
They did a great job with them, and they've always done a great job with that sublimated swag. And so, Rush Race Gear, great allies, great friends of Race On. But yeah, no, I mean, not yet. Lots of cool stuff going to be added to the swag store for sure.
I was going to wear my polo, but it still smells like the racetrack. I haven't done laundry yet.
That's
it,
right?
Tomorrow.
Right. And so Tanner's one of our Tanner's been filming everything up in North Texas for a long time. I mean, he's really plugged into the race scene up there. I know he used to work for the Dallas Cowboys and do stuff with them and do stuff with you. So super talented videographer and producer. And he's one of the few guys for us that does it all, right? So if you don't see Tanner at the track, a lot of times he's at home producing events for us too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So when people watch, right? So, I see how Tanner does it from the track. So he sends it to, like, do you guys have like a person at his house has got 40 screens up and he's, doing stuff, or is everything directly produced to the app from the track?
Yeah, so actually we have 3 people that sit at home with like 5 computer screens apiece. So they're all monitoring. In fact, actually, I took a little video. I think at some point I will put it up on social. But what we sit and do on a weekend night, there's more people sitting watching the events. And so actually, I don't know. This is kind of but that's us watching all of the events. Every event that you see is being monitored. It's being monitored by 3 different people from 3 different locations. And so when you do 11 shows in one night, we definitely stay on top of it. And if people have questions or concerns or troubles with their feed, I answer literally every single message that comes through. So, we take our customer service, we take that very seriously, making sure that customers get to see what they want to see. And so, yeah, there's multiple people with multiple monitors watching. So usually there's 4 or 5 producers at home, and then there's 2 or 3 people that are just dedicated to watching. That's Cody and Tony and Tanner sometimes. And so great team for sure. And my partner, Harry, he's watching streams and helping. And so we know when something goes wrong before anyone at the track does, because you're on about a 90-second delay from live from when you're actually seeing it at home.
So when you guys started this thing, was it with one track?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we started with one track. Tony was our first videographer. I think Cotton Bowl was kind of the first track. And then we did some stuff at HMP. And so it just evolved. And then we want a little bit more. And when COVID hit, that was really kind of what was game changing for our business model.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you can't go to the racetrack anymore. And we were set up to stream. And I think in 2019, we streamed 17 live events, and in 2020 we did over 150. Last year we did over 400, and so from 27 different racetracks. So yeah, no, we're growing. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to bring racing to those that can't be at the track, and continue to give back a massive portion of revenue back to the tracks and series that partner with us.
Man, it's really cool because that you actually kind of partially answered one of my next questions was, what are your plans for growing bigger? How many tracks do you cover right now, and how many do you want to cover in, say, 2025?
Well, I think it's not always about how many. We want to follow good racing and good shows. We've got a really good group of core partner tracks that we've teamed up with from the beginning, like the Heart of Texas, the Texana, South Texas Race Ranch, Cotton Bowl, Boot Hill, Super B, Kennendale, Grayson, Hunt County. But you get tracks like Arrowhead this year that approached us about a show, and it's like, hey, yeah, we want to do that show. We're not going to do the whole season at Arrowhead, but we're going to kind of branch out that way and try to find quality shows for our customers to be able to watch. And then obviously now we're following the CompCam Super Dirt Late Model Series, so we're their exclusive streaming partner, and we're excited to be a part of that. And that's created a lot of opportunity as well. And so our model's different. I get told that all the time. Well, you're not doing what a lot of other people do. And we know that we are different, and we want to be different. And that's why the shirt that you're wearing, Will, says setting the pace,
right?
Not following the field. Right. So we want to do things a little bit differently and follow kind of the trend that we're going to set.
I think one of the things that I was very impressed with is, first of all, just the presentation, not just the presentation of the racing, but like your mobile app, your television app, the whole bit, and I reached out through the website because I was going to be working a track, and I had a lot of questions because, clearly I've never, called a race with you guys before. And man, you were quick to say, hey man, look, give me a call tomorrow at this time. We'll get together. We'll talk about it. And, I would almost bet money that the other companies wouldn't be, first of all, that responsive.
Yeah.
Or number two, so quick to, be like, hey man, we do this, this, and this. And I was like, hey man, I saw these things on your website, and you're like, heck yeah, we can do that too. And we're getting ready for the first race of the week, and you're like, hey, what's your address? And boom, 2 days later, a box shows up with ball cap and this badass t-shirt and the awesome hood, polo shirt, and you guys are like very on it, man. And I watched a ton, because I got my my subscription going, and man, I've watched so much racing. I've watched more racing. I watched more racing in the last probably month than I have in the last 10 years. I watch it because it's been a while since I called some races. So I'm like, hey man, let me kind of freshen up on the lingo a little bit, and see what everybody else is doing. And if you go back and watch the RPM feed, the first couple of shows a couple of races from last week were kind of touchy. Like when you give you a piece of paper with tiny font with everybody's name and information on it, you're like, I can barely read this. And then you're trying to remember it as they're coming around the track, and I'm doing this bit here. You couldn't see it on camera clearly, but I was like just moving my paper with me. And man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to be back in racing. I'm super excited to be working with you guys. I just grabbed the wrong paper with the wrong questions on it.
No, but I'll echo kind of what you said, talking about, we know the importance of track announcers. We know that what you guys do is a critical part of our job into bringing the racetrack to the people that can't be there. Right. So, and honestly, shows like this and what Rodney and Bobby do with the Revved Up Sports Show, we want to be plugged in and support what you guys are doing for racing. Because at the end of the day, the more people we have talking about racing, the better. Right. So, I mean, we need more of Will and Rodney and Bobby and the Revved Up Sports Show and Dirt Talk Nation. And so when we hear that somebody's willing to put forth the effort, like, we want to back it 100%, not necessarily for the name recognition for us, but for the sport in general. So, and I'd love to, if it's okay, Will, I'm not trying to take over the show, but I saw some comments. My favorite, Les, was commenting about the Big O broadcast. And I want to answer questions like that, because he said, I'll quote, the shit show of a broadcast coming out of Big O Speedway is absolutely a joke. Just saying. So, Les, the reason that we had issues with the audio was based off of a mixer that we had the first weekend that was bad. Second weekend, and in addition to that, the announcer left the racetrack for 3 straight races. So we can't help you if the announcer's not in the booth. And secondarily, we're at the mercy of the track equipment, and we'd never like to adjust equipment for the fans that are in the stands. So I apologize. We already have a team set up to fix that, but we've done probably 50 or 60 shows at Big O Speedway that have been fine, and never saw Les commenting on how good those shows were. But anyway, sorry, I just
no, you're
our team
absolutely
works super hard to have people jump in and talk crap. So
well,
anyways. Sorry.
Look, I was actually going to ask you to comment on that. So I'm glad that you saw it. So, you talk about equipment, right? So I'm a tech guy.
Yep.
And a radio guy. So bet your ass when I got to RPM, I got my rolling case right over there. It's got a brand new Mackie mixer. I got my Audio Technica headphones with a microphone because I don't like piss poor equipment. And I did not that there's at RPM was. I just didn't know what they had. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to get this. And plus it's a USB mixer on top of that. So I can, use my laptop for audio and all the good stuff that goes with it. Right. So I got there and Tanner was already there. And he goes, I'm looking for the line that goes out here. And I said, look, we'll just do it all. And we'll run it all from my mixer, moved it over, tested it. Me and Tanner worked really well. I mean, like we had it hooked up and tested for audio in about 15 minutes and we were ready to go. Like, a lot of times I'll be watching the races, and they're already live, and you got guys going test, mic test, live on the air, and I'm like, no, bro, you gotta get all that stuff done before you go live, man.
We test every show 2 hours before we go live. I tell people we're in some very difficult elements for professional audio and video equipment. When you take the 100-degree Texas heat and you take dust and dirt and sometimes rain and things like that, and you take it out into the elements, it can be a very difficult and challenging environment. And we've got a lot of equipment out there. And so I know Sean
does not like heat or water or dust. It doesn't like any of that stuff. So you got to be meticulous in cleaning your equipment.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're going to end up with just equipment failure just in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I saw Sean Graham. He's one of our biggest fans at Race On, and he asked what's the most watched track. The most watched track in 2024 was Boot Hill Speedway. Huge following out of Boot Hill. They've got a great. They just do fantastic racing, and Rollo and Bubba have done a great job out there. And if you haven't seen some of the racing at Boot Hill, it's phenomenal. And Josh and Zach Clark on the mic out there do a fantastic job. And, if you're ever in the Greenwood, Louisiana area, go check it out. I know they were supposed to have the USMTS this weekend, but had a lot of rain and a lot of rain that affected that area. But, equipment is suspect. And believe me, we hate failures. Like, we know they happen, but, we do whatever we can to make sure that everything works properly. And, but man, it's a pleasure to work with people like you, though, Will. I really appreciate everything that you do for local racing. And I think a lot of times people don't realize how selfless of a job what you're doing to help racing.
Man, and actually, I said before, I had wrote it down for the intro, but never even said it. But I have a huge announcement that even you don't know. It's a personal career announcement as far as racing goes. So currently on Friday nights, I call softball for the Roy City High School softball team. Playoffs are about to begin. And whenever that ends, I'm super excited about this, man. My hands I got to go look up the information. I have it on my phone. But when all that ends, I will be taking over the lead announcer role from Joe Spillman at Heart of Texas Speedway. Joe and I had a conversation on Sunday. I asked him if he just wanted it to be, situationally. And he's like, man, I'd love it to be permanently. And so I talked to him and Selby, and starting as soon as probably Memorial Day weekend, every Friday night, you can hear me on the microphone at Heart of Texas Speedway in Elmont, Texas.
Heck yeah. No, we're going to love to have you out there at Heart of Texas. I mean, you want to talk about some great racing out there in north of Waco there. They are an incredible facility, and Jerry and David and Mike and Selby and all those guys, great track. And man, they've got some big events coming up as well throughout the season. So yeah, man, it's going to be a pleasure to have you out there on the microphone for sure, man. And we're there every Friday night. So if buddy, if you can't make it out there, you can check it out at Race On, and a great team that goes out there as well.
Absolutely, guys. We are going to be giving away, like I said, Chris gave us a free 3-month subscription to give away tonight. We're going to do it at the very end of the show. You have to like this broadcast, you have to share this broadcast, and you have to tag a friend in the comments. You can't do two of the three and win. You have to do all three, and we'll pick the winner at the end of the show. Chris, thank you so much for jumping on with us, man. We had all kinds of people just raving, like, Rodney Rodriguez says Chris and his team show up for every challenge, and trust me, there are plenty. We Motor Mouse have the easy job. It's the dudes on site and the back end. I love working with Jeff. He's like, give me what you have and let's tie it in. Romo, same deal. So,
huge, yeah. It's a team, man. I sit here and monitor the stream, but people like Rodney, people like you, people like Colin Bell, and our whole team, man. Those are the real superstars, man. And so, hats off to those guys. And hey, Will, thank you so much for having me on, man. It was a real pleasure.
You got it, my brother. I'll talk to you very, very soon, man.
See ya.
You got it. There you go, y'all. Chris David with Race On, the Race On Network. Find it at raceon.com. You can watch all the good racing, you guys. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk to Dan King. Man, I tell you what, all kinds of stuff going down at Outlaw Motor Speedway in Oklahoma. We're going to tell you about it next right here on the Dirt Talk Nation. We're back here in the Dirt Talk Nation. One final guest to get to. We are going to run a little bit long here tonight, guys, so don't worry about it. We know it's when it's my show and it's my network, we can do whatever I want to do. But our last guest, like I said, is a owner promoter up at Outlaw Motor Speedway, and I want to say it's Otoa, Oklahoma. We'll get clarification from him in just a minute. But there was a bit of drama over rules. And rules decisions that were made, and he's here to set the record straight. Please welcome to the show, Dan King. Dan, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, Will the Thrill?
Man, look, it's almost race weekend. Huge race at the track that I work at on Sunday night with some with the high limit series sprint cars. So stoked to see those for the first time, and man, just stoked in general just to be promoting the sport of dirt track racing again, and getting to talk to good people like you, my dude.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. I tried to get on last week, but we had some stuff come up and weren't able to get you on last week. But, I saw you made a post and I was like, hey, man, you want to come talk about it on the show? And you were like, immediately was like, yes. So here we are. And if you, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, you did a bit more exciting week. That's why we did it this week. As promoters, we try to maybe change the rules. And what we do is we think we're helping the drivers. And I tried to do that this week, thinking I might be able to save a little money, make things a little more competitive. And it blew up in my face. And I own it and just be honest about it. So wanted to clear that up. I am fortunate enough that the owners, Gary, Teresa, Dalton, Clay, support me 110% on the decisions I make. After I made the Facebook post about going back to our original rules and apologized and owned it, I had multiple drivers and teams reach out to me that were thoroughly pleased. We're going back to the old rules and really impressed with Outlaw and their professionalism. So that's where we're at right now. And, as promoters, we really need to think about the drivers before we make the decisions. And we really try to, and we our heart's in the right spot trying to make these decisions. But sometimes things like this happen. And if it does, just own it and move right on.
It's hard. Like I was talking to Patrick Robb of Lone Star Speedway in Kilgore earlier, and man, being a promoter is hard. Like I used to promote other stuff. Like I used to promote pro wrestling. All right. And sometimes, you think you're doing something that's for the betterment, not only of your business, but of the sport in general. And it just kind of sometimes just the people involved don't like it, and they let you know about it, and you got to come out and do the same thing and just be like, all right, cool. Look, I get it. I understand where you guys are coming from. I mean, it's sometimes it's a thankless job being a promoter, man.
It is. It's tough. You got to deal with the drivers and try to come up with a happy medium. And like you were talking earlier, looking for sponsors and getting things going. But we are very fortunate and blessed in the Oklahoma area. That's where our track is at. It's
Oklahoma. There we go.
Yeah, it's about 10 or 15 miles southwest of Muskogee, just a hop, skip, and a jump over there. So just a great facility. We're going to start racing May the 3rd, Friday nights. We're going to have, now that our rules are squared away, we're going to have a factory stock shootout on May the 17th. It's going to be 3,000 to win, 300 to start. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the whole season. We're going to run our pure stocks, factory stocks. We have a B mod class, and we're running a crate late model class. And on certain weekends, we'll run Okie dwarf cars, and then we'll have 3 classes of micros. We'll run the restrictor class, A class, and a non-wing class. There's 3 tracks at Outlaw. So we have our big car racetrack, our micro track in the middle, and we also have a side-by-side track, and we're going to start opening that up probably mid-May.
Man, when I was in the wrestling business, we go through Oklahoma a lot, right? And Oklahoma, of course, a lot of roads are in towns are named after Native American tribes and or words. And one of the funniest I ever saw, it forever will live in my heart. Okay, I don't know what highway we were on because I wasn't driving, but I was riding. And we were going over a lake somewhere in southeastern Oklahoma, and there's a bridge, and there's an exit for the road right next to the lake. And I kid you not, was Lotta Wada Road. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So with you guys up there, what is your biggest car count class, and what is your favorite class?
I think this year our factory stocks are going to be our biggest class this year. I really do. That's really kind of my favorite class. I'm a full body guy. Now I do like the modifieds, but I'm a full body guy. I like that class. They just put on a great show, and the drivers and this factory stock deal that we have going are probably some of the best in the area. So, we're expecting probably 35 cars, factory stocks on a weekly basis, battling for 1,000 to win every Friday night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have some very aggressive payouts, and I think we'll be fine this year. I think our car counts are going to be good. Our facility's great. So, folks, just come on out Friday night.
What is your, how many classes do you guys run on Friday nights?
We're going to run a crate late model class, a B mod class, the factory stock class, and a pure stock class. And then we've got, on an alternating basis, we're going to run the Okie dwarf cars, and then we'll run the micros like they run at Port City. So
yeah, we run micros at RPM, the A class 600s. Yes, sir. We do those. We do those.
We have a now 600 race scheduled. We've got the Power I 410s coming, and a OCRS race, and then we have the Rev late models coming with us this year. So we've got a pretty stacked schedule.
Man, to me, late models is my all-time favorites, man. Especially like the super late models. They're so awesome to watch. It's like the power under those things is absolutely unbelievable. It's almost like, I feel like they're like, I love the big sprints, right? So we're going to see the 410 sprints of the High Limit Series on Sunday. And of course, I've seen the World of Outlaws many times. But man, to me, the World of Outlaw does the late models, man, and super late models, and those bad boys just can flat get it.
They do. If you've never been to a super late model show, you need to put that on your list, because they definitely put on a show. And I'm all about any kind of racing. I've always been an advocate for racing. Love the sport. Have been around it all my life, and it's just, I started out as a track worker and worked my way up to a flagman, and have been a promoter at a couple of different tracks. So I've been truly blessed to be able to do what I love to do.
So, did your dad race, uncles race, grandpa race? What got you into racing?
My dad used to race, and then he had a car, and he sponsored a car and had a car and a team. And then it kind of went from there, and I got out of it. And then me and my brother worked at a racetrack. Now it's Arrowhead. Back then it was West Island or Flint Creek, and we worked there together, and it was just great. And I tried the race years ago in pure stock, and I knew I didn't have the money or the talent. So I thought, I got something about be around racing, so I decided to work there. So I started doing lineup and evolved from there.
Well, we got to get people out there. What if say somebody could come to to the Speedway one night to see one big race, which one would you suggest?
You started out right. You come out May the 17th. You see the factory stock shootout, 3,000 win, 300 to start, and you will see some of the best drivers probably in a 4 or 5 state area.
Nice. So, how many factory stocks you think will be on the track for that one?
I figure we're going to have probably 75 or 80 cars show up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What's been y'all's biggest car count? Like when you like looked at the lineup and were like, holy crap.
Okay, so this is my first year with Outlaw, and this is the first year they've been back open for a while. The track has been leased a few times, but this year we're hitting the ground running. So we've got a practice schedule this Saturday night. I really think things are going to just boom for us out there. We're going to have some good car counts in every field. I know we'll have a full field in every class. So.
Well, we are wishing you guys nothing but success and packed car counts every week, week in and week out for the whole season. Dan, I appreciate you for jumping on with me tonight. I know that sometimes you just got to own stuff, and so I wanted to give you that platform to own it, and and now we can all move on, right?
Exactly, and I appreciate you having me on, and I want to say, to the drivers, thank you. I don't know how many phone calls, texts, messages I got. Hey, Dan, we support you. Thanks for listening to us. And as promoter, that's what we have to do. We have to listen to our drivers and our fans and give them what they want.
Man, like I said, I'm just so excited that we can, when I come back to doing the Dirt Talk Nation, I did it in 2017 and 2018, and I just focused on the tracks I worked at, right? I was trying to get in with the race crowd and really focus on what was doing local. And when I got the call to come back to calling races this year, after spending the last 5 years as a touring musician, I jumped at the opportunity. And I said, but the Dirt Talk Nation is going to promote racing, dirt track racing, anywhere and everywhere that we'll jump on. So, and that includes Oklahoma.
I'm glad you had me on. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can come on again sometime.
Absolutely, man. Well, later on this year, we'll get it scheduled, man. I appreciate you for jumping on with us here tonight, bud.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, much success out there, and we'll see you down the road, bud.
You got it. Thanks.
You got it, bud. There he goes, y'all. Dan King, promoter out of Outlaw Motor Speedway in Okotoa, Oklahoma. Now we got to do our random picker. Who wants to be a winner here tonight? Let's go. Let's see. Oh, I got to log into my Facebook first. Hold on. This thing is so weird, the Facebook picker. Oh, I am in my Facebook, fool. This thing's so weird. So I do appreciate everybody for joining in. It's been an awesome night here, and I'm trying to find these real quick, and it will not. Oh, here we go. There we go. I got to log in with my Facebook login here. I don't know why it's making me log in. I'm already in. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yes. It's a lot of buttons, you guys. I do apologize for the delay, but somebody's about to win a free 3-month subscription to Race On, provided by our good friend Chris David and the Race On team. Let's go. Get the comments. Hold on. No. I don't know what the deal is here. Hold on. Let's try a different one. Facebook comment picker. Where we go? That one worked. Oh, I know what the deal is. Comment picker. There we go. Let's try a new one. There we go. So I do appreciate everybody for joining in. Remember, this Sunday is going to be rumbling all over with the 410 sprints. Check this out.
We got them racked, we got them stacked, and we've got the grandstands packed.
Super healthy for sprint car racing and compete for a championship.
You can feel the buzz around. We want to race the best guys every night.
Whole different level.
This is the High Limit Room. It's the home of 24 high rollers. We are free.
That bad boy is going to be awesome, and I am going to be in the house for that. So I am looking through here. Come on, comment picker. I don't know why it won't work. It's just telling me it just can't load it. I think it's because it's on a page, not on my personal situation here. So we're going to figure this out here in just a second. Let's just bear with me, man. Enter the already did that. Yeah, I already did that too. Yep, I already did that. It just won't load it, huh? Please try again in a few minutes. Well, good night, 11. These people are just trying to make my life so much harder. All right, let's go to here. No, that's not the right thing. Commentpicker.com. Let's see what happens when we go to commentpicker.com. Oh, I was already here. That doesn't work either. So let's go back. Actually, let's do this. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share out my screen here real quick. Let's do this right here. Hold on, I'm gonna present my screen. Share screen. Yes, I know. Share screen. So now we're gonna go to this one right here. Nope, hold on. We're gonna go to Google. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's how we're gonna do this, you guys. We're just gonna go right here and go Google. Pick a number. Boom, number 10. So we're then, since it's number 10, you guys, you saw it right here, number 10. Let's go down the comments right here. We'll go down and we're going to skip duplicate number. So 1, 2, hold on, hold on. I got to share this screen. Hold on. So I'm going to, let's go to, hold on, I got to share a screen. Stop that screen. Now let's add another screen. And then we're going to do this one right here. There we go. So you guys can see it. We're going to share this screen right here. So we're going to count down from the top. Comment number 10. There's number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. Hold on, looking for the tags, looking for the tags, looking for the tags. Hold on, let me go back through, get the tags. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. Dustin Choate. Dustin Choate is your winner. Look at the screen. It's looking wild right there, bro. Dustin Choate is your winner. Oh, no, we're going to get off this screen now. Boom. Let's get out of that. Just go back to this. There we go. Dustin Choate is your winner. Dustin, drop your email address in the comments. I will get that over. If you've already subscribed to the Race On Network, make sure that you just give me your email that you subscribed with. I'll get that over to Chris, and he will get you set up for your free 3-month subscription. You guys, we will be back next Wednesday night. Normally do this on Wednesday night, but we had it moved last week because of softball. I do want you guys to check out my buddy Kenneth Waters Band, the official theme song for the Dirt Talk Nation for the 2024 season. You guys, this one is called Racing Car. We'll be back with you next Wednesday night in the Dirt Talk Nation.